TBS News, I'm Rosine Park. Today's planned launch of South Korea's first homegrown rocket is set to be delayed. According to the Korea Aerospace Research Institute, liftoff, which was scheduled for 4 p.m. this afternoon, could be pushed back by 2 hours due to weather conditions. The Korea Meteorological Administration says strong winds are forecast to hit Goheung, where the Naro Space Center is located. But if the launch goes as planned, it will be deemed successful if the rocket puts its 1.5-ton dummy cargo into orbit with an altitude of 700 kilometers. And this would be determined within 16 minutes. South Korea aims to become the world's 7th country to launch a rocket that has the independent capability of placing an over 1-ton satellite into orbit, following in the footsteps of Russia, the United States, France, China, Japan, and India. The United States says it's time to engage in a sustained dialogue with North Korea in order to achieve the total denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, said Washington was willing to meet North Korean officials without preconditions. She also condemned Pyongyang's latest missile tests as the Security Council met to discuss the issue. The BBC's David Willis has more details.
North Korea has launched a series of missiles in recent weeks, and the reported test of a ballistic missile fired from a submarine is seen as a further sign of its desire to acquire the sort of sea-based nuclear capability that could pose a considerable threat to U.S. allies in the region. North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, met 3 times with former U.S. President Donald Trump, but those talks failed to yield an end to Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program.
In a separate statement before the emergency meeting, the 3 members of the European Union on the Council, Ireland, France, and Estonia, said Monday's reported test of a submarine-launched ballistic missile underlines the continued enhancement of the North's nuclear and ballistic program. The members also urged North Korea to respond positively to the repeated offers by South Korea and the U.S. for dialogue, saying there is no other way to achieve peace, security, and stability on the peninsula. Local health authorities have reported a decline in new COVID-19 cases, continuing a downward trend since the 4th wave of the pandemic peaked here in late September. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency said 1,441 new cases were confirmed in the previous 24 hours. Thursday's tally was down 130 from the previous day. Officials attributed the decline in new infections to the accelerating rate of COVID-19 vaccinations. More than 67% of South Korea's 52 million population has been fully vaccinated. The country is expected to hit the target of 70% fully vaccinated by the end of this month. And an anti-stalking law has taken effect, enabling the punishment of perpetrators with up to 3 years in prison. It's the first South Korean law that has been enacted specifically targeting stalking. Previously, the act was classified in the criminal code as a misdemeanor subject to less than 100,000 won in fines. That's all the news for now. You're listening to TBS eFM.